And I showed up and they was like, whoa, like I don't know what the fuck. Sometimes I get placed in the most awkward situations to the point where I've even heard, oh, you're not like the other black girls, or you're not like the other black people. I've heard that too many times to count.
I had four or five other black men, like black men not from America, not African Americans, like African or different
or Jamaican
Ethiopian,
or something.
Jamaican, yes, say the same thing to me. There was at one time when I worked in college, I worked in the bookstore, and in the book room, I had fond memories of this because there was, like I said, it was like 5 of us, and we were all black men from all different places, and our work involved just not. It wasn't anything, it wasn't rocket science. We were like stamping books and moving books around, manual labor type stuff mostly. So all we did was talk. You know what I mean? You didn't need your brain power to focus on your work because you just moving stuff. You know what I mean? And all we did was talk and about our cultures and the way we were brought up. It was amazing. I was that job for that reason. I value of all. It had more to me than mostly all of my jobs, just for that experience alone. It was amazing. But they used to try to tell me that, and I used to stick up for black Americans all the time. And I was like, you guys are believing the hype. I'm not, special or different or all this kind of thing. You guys just got to get your head out the media and quit falling for the okie doke,
right?
Because there's plenty of them like me,
right?
You know what I mean? There's some that raised me, which is why I'm like this,
right?
You know
Right.
So,
I love when people of other races, and again, we're not white bash because this happens like other people black people from other countries and Asian people and Latino people approach me the same way.
Right, like I just said.
Definitely.
These were 5 different black dudes.
And we'll say things like, oh, why do all black people blah, blah, blah? And
black
like,
Americans.
and then I'm like, I'm black and I don't do none of that you just said, right? Like, I'm not different.
Right.
Like, I'm not different. I can name at least a dozen other black people like me,
right?
That do exactly what you talking, the opposite of what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm like, oh, if you think I'm cool, you should meet my homegirl Tanya. She know all about your favorite shit that you like. I know. I've been in that same situation. It's actually a lady on my street. I don't even know. She might be Indian or something, because she don't speak no English, 0, and she loves me. We are like best friends. Anytime she's talking to somebody in their native tongue, I still don't know. She be like, oh, she knows my dog's name. She'll be like, Jackie, and then she'll fuck around with Jack a little bit, and then she like I can see that she's pointing at me, like telling whoever she's talking to, like, that's my friend, her son should be, have her son come help me and stuff. So I'm trying to tell her, I could tell that she sees, like African American women or me or African Americans in general, like in a different way. Like, it's camaraderie. So I could tell she learned something about my culture when she saw my braids. They was long, and last week my hair was short. She was like, this is where I got it from. She said, Pocahontas. Pocahontas.
Oh, God.
Happy birthday. I was like, thank you. So, that's true. You do learn a lot.
Let me ask you this, Dejan, just out of curiosity. What do you think people who just see your name, what do you, in your experience, what do you think they usually think that you are?
Chinese.
Okay.
I was gonna say Asian.
Chinese.
I thought so too. Yeah.
Asian.
Because I remember we've said this several times on the show that I thought you were mixed with Asian. I didn't think you were Asian, but I thought you were mixed with Asian.
Yeah, I get that all the time, all the time. And then sometimes I'll be high, my eyes be all chinky, and people really be thinking I'm
chinkier.
You mean
chinkier?
Chinkier, yeah.
Chinkier.
Oh my
Maybe
God.
chinkier, and then I can't see, so
just said
sometimes.
chinky.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
He's so racist.
It's racist, but it's funny.
It is kind of funny. 1955.
Sorry, y'all. My eyes be low.
Why don't you say Oriental?
Oriental. Is that,
That's just racist.
Same thing. It's just not as funny.
Sounds worse
It's not
to
as
me.
funny as chinky.
Oh my God. And then I can't see here, so I'll be squinting. It's just, they be like, where are you from? I'm like, California. They like, oh. Like, What? Like, no, I'm not Asian. It's
I
okay.
love when we talked about race and cities and stuff like that. You mentioned how like there's a lot of black people here, but in Chicago, there's more black people in Chicago than there are in L.A.
Wow.
Just percentage wise.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, for certain.
Mm-hmm.
And I come here and there's so many more Asians here than there are in Chicago, and I'm cool with that because I love their food, I love their culture and stuff like that. But I've also noticed, and this is just something over the last 12 years, that's like a lot of Asians will have American name, Asian last name, right?
Mm.
So like it's like, so I love when I have a Tracy Goo come to the office.
Yeah, they're really good for anglicizing their name.
Yes, and they always pick the most straight and narrow names.
Yeah.
That's the funny part too.
Gabe Mikiyaki.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of Toms, a lot of basic old school American names.
Old school.
Yeah. John.
Marys and Nancy's. Yeah.
And then if they can, they'll get the closest American version to their name.
You're right.
I see that a lot.
Right.
At my job. So.
Yeah. Like Jen, things like that. Yeah.
Amy, or Eddie, because it sounds most similar to their actual name.
This has always been like a long-standing thing for me because when I go to the nail shop, I always ask my nail tech for her name. I always ask my nail tech for her name. And she always gives me the Anglo name, Vivian. What's your name?
Angela
Vivian.
Johnson.
Exactly. Vivian Johnson. I'm like...
Nobody got that joke.
I'm like, that's not your name. What's your...
Matt TV.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah,
you got it. Okay. I don't think anybody out there listening got it.
I always have to be like, what's your real name? What's your name? What's your name? And then it's never what the name that they picked. Like, it's never like, if she told me her name was Vivian, her real name is always like something else, like Santa.
And that's why she chose Vivian.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
But I would think that you would try to pick something that's closer to your name, but I guess not. You just want people to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
And like it.
Yeah.
And like it.
Like it, I guess, too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
If I could pick my own name, I would pick something much simpler.
Actually, you can pick your own name.
That's true, but I don't want to go through the process. Maybe when I get married, because I'm going to have to change my last name anyway, I'm thinking about
You
it.
don't have to do anything.
True that. Just stay black and die. But...
You ain't got to do that.
Which name do you not like, the first one or the last one?
It's not that I don't like my name. It's just that people mess it up consistently.
Do you want to change the spelling?
Part.
You can change that.
Yeah, and that's the part that bothers me.
So you would change what? The spelling of it?
Yeah, I probably would like drop the G off. No, I don't know.
You could do that without even doing it officially.
No.
And over time, it would just become that. Like, people do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just start calling themselves or change the way they... And over time, all the stuff with the original spelling or whatever will not even be in circulation anymore. And everything new will have that spelling on there. And that's basically your name now.
People do that with their last names all the time as well. Like there's an actress, she just passed away this last year. Her name is Nanette Fabre.
Mm-hmm.
And her niece is Shelley Fabre.
Mm-hmm.
But Shelley Fabre's name is spelled the original family name, and it looks like Fabre. Mm-hmm. And Nanette Fabre, who's older, was on the Ed Sullivan show, and Ed Sullivan called her Nanette Fabre, and so she just changed her name after that, so nobody would ever mess it up again. She just spelled it Fabray.
See,
and that's.
I'm sorry, I'm hearing the same word twice. What? Okay, say. I know you're saying something different, but I'm not getting it.
Fabre, Nanette Fabre.
Fabre.
And then the other actress was Shelley Fabre, but it's spelled Fabre.
Oh, Fabre.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and so
slight.
Yeah, but once you got called the wrong name by Ed Sullivan, she's like, "Oh, nobody's ever gonna do that again."
Right.
So she just changed the spelling of her name.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
If Oprah mess up my name, I'm gonna have to change it to whatever Oprah said. So that ain't gonna work in my favor.
Oprah at this point should not be mispronouncing anybody's names that she's saying.
No,
for anything, because she's been in the game way too long for that.
It happens. My name.
Plus, Oprah's all international. She knows. She got.
I know she probably gonna add some flavor to my name.
You have people for that. There's research and stuff involved, and you don't. If you mispronounce someone's name on your show, that's unprofessional and lazy.
But I also, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
But my point is that I think that Oprah, somebody in Oprah's position, she's met people who she has done business dealings with people with international foreign names. That stuff is very common probably to her at this point. Because she has like Saudi clients and partners, and she has Asian partners,
Australian, everything. Okay, that makes sense. She probably would add some flavor to my name. She probably would put a whole nother pronunciation on it that I didn't even think of.
Speaking of putting some flavor on your name, let me give a little shout out to my cousin Danya, Big Danya, not to be confused with Little Danya, who Little Danya is named after. She asked me the other day, we were coming from lunch, which we never do lunch together, but we come from lunch, and she said, so where did you meet Dejanay? And I did not know who she was talking about because I forget, because she just recently started listening to the show, so I forget that she listens to the show. And I was like, Dejanay, I was like, who that? She sound fine. He's like,
what I'm saying?
She said, what's her name? What's her name? I was like, who are we talking about? She's like, your co-host. I was like, oh, Dejanay. I was like, oh, you put some extra on. I like that. Dejanay.
You see what I'm saying?
That sounds sexy.
That's why I got to change it. That's why I got to change it. I
like your name. It's better than libations.
I like your name too.
Or Abacadabra.
But it's not for me to.
Absidy, whatever her name was.
But some of that is just, I don't know. I love my daughter's name, and they get her name wrong all the time. I'd be damned if I would change her name just because other people can't get it right, or because the
what
thing
do they call her? Donya?
Well, the thing is, you have to understand is like we have a predisposition for certain things, right? We can't help it. It's the way our mind works,
right?
So when your mind hears a name, it expects to hear a name
that is familiar.
So if you say Danya, then 9 times out of 10 people are going to say Tanya, because most people have not heard of Danya. You know what I'm saying? It's not that common. So they'll say Tanya, and I'll say no, Tanya with a D, Danya. And then that's how and just move on. But I don't know. My wife is irritated by it, and I'm like, well, you didn't want her to have a common name. That's what happens when you don't have a common name. You can't have it both ways. You can't have, you can't feel some kind of way because people think they heard Tanya when you said Danya. It's natural, but you don't like a name like Tanya because it's common. So therefore you're going to have that. But, best believe if you'd named her Danielle, that wouldn't be an issue.
When people hear my name, it's funny the things that they think they hear.
Right.
And sometimes the name that they, like on the Starbucks that they put on the cup, I'm like, you
Pimp?
Think that's more common?
They think you say pimp? I would think
I get pimp a lot.
Pimp, I
get pimp a lot, and I get tip a lot.
Tip, okay.
So
I can see that. I can see that too.
I guess so, but only Tip I know is Tip O'Neill. He dead, and he used to be in the Congress.
Q-Tip. And,
that's
true. T.I. is Tip as well.
Okay.
I don't know, but my name is Dejan, and I don't know. I don't know any name that sounds like that. And when I tell people my name, they just look at me very puzzled and as if they're waiting for me to like try again. So that's the part that gets frustrating.
There's a character on one of the shows that I watch whose name is Dejan, and it's a boy.
Yeah, it's a lot of boy names named Dejan, but not like mine's. So. But that's another thing too. A lot of people think that Dejan is a boy name. It's just, but still, my name doesn't sound like anything else. So when people say, "Hey, what's your name?" I'm like, "My name's Dejan." They're like, "Huh? The what? Say that again." Dejan. Oh, what is that? Is that Asian? Is that French? And I'm like, here we go. No, it's just Dejan like the mustard. Oh, those are the funny ones. That's how I know. Here we go.
Everybody wants to say.
Everybody got something to say.
Where's Gladys?
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, you funny.
Gladys.
Like I haven't heard that like a million times over the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Either where's Gladys or Great Expectations. The ones who think they're smart say, "Oh, Dickens, Great Expectations," or usually they'll say Dickens because they're waiting for me to say Great Expectations or see if I even know the reference.
Right.
And I'm like, of course I do. My name is Pip.
Right.
Required to know.
And I'm educated.
I'm like, do I look yellow? Am I in a jar? No. Not the mustard.
I thought you was making another Asian racist joke.
Why would an Asian be in a jar?
She started off with "No, I ain't yellow."
Is that race? That's not racist.
Well,
I mean, we have colors we have colors that are designated for the races.
No,
white people are not
giving her
actually
shit.
white. Black people are not actually black. Asian people are not actually yellow. You know, Indians are not actually red.
I'm just giving her shit because it's funny.
Okay.
that was funny.
So, hey, there's a church that is now serving beer to lure people in.
Hallelujah.
Is it green beer?
Maybe on